Welcome to our planting and fertilization of ground cover and perennials training. The purpose of this procedure is to ensure we are planting and fertilizing properly, safely, and efficiently. This procedure applies to all employees who are responsible for the planting and fertilization of ground cover and perennial plants. Field managers and crew leaders are responsible for ensuring the correct species and number of plants is ordered, delivered, and present on site, communicating the client's vision with all who are planting, ensuring the planting plan is being followed, troubleshooting issues, and that the crew is working efficiently and safely. Crew members are to consistently implement this procedure throughout the operation, executing the client's vision, and working in a safe and efficient manner. They are to report any and all issues to their leader or manager. To properly and efficiently execute this procedure, you may need several tools and materials. For hand tools, you may need a digging shovel, a spade, a pick, pitchfork, hand pruners, and a broom. You'll definitely need a blower, a debris bin, and a durable tarp for cleaning up. For watering, you'll need a hose, potentially a watering can, and a hose nozzle with a gentle shower setting. A few materials you'll likely need are mulch and fertilizer. As for these two, contact your leader or manager to ensure you are getting and using the correct type. And finally, if there is irrigation planned or present, you'll need irrigation tools and hardware. As for personal protective equipment, you may need long-sleeve shirts and pants for sun protection, eye protection, and gloves. You may not need all of these tools, so make sure to communicate with or ask your crew or manager what will and what won't be needed. An important term to know when it comes to planting these types of plants is root bound. This is what it looks like. You can see that the white roots are tightly wound around the soil. It's firm or hard to the touch. Root bound conditions occur when plants outgrow their nursery pots. It can negatively harm the plant by restricting root growth, limiting water and nutrient uptake, and generally stressing the plant. The first phase is to sort and eliminate waste before planting. The first step of this phase is to inspect the delivered plants and group them by their species and placement area. Second, recount plants to ensure the correct number of each was delivered and is present. Next, examine each plant and make sure to remove dead or diseased portions or remove entire plants from the group if they do not appear to meet company planting standards. Fourth, segregate all tools and materials that are not needed. Preferably leave them in the truck so they are not forgotten on the property or are in the way. And finally, identify and mark any underground utilities or obstructions to ensure anyone who is digging does not hit them. The second phase is to set everything in order and organize the work area for optimal efficiency. Lay out all of your plants per the site plan and spacing specifications. Stage your tools and amendments near your first zone you plan to plant. If you need to, use a tarp to keep it contained and organized. Assign everyone a specific role, such as digging, planting, and watering. The third phase is to shine and maintain a clean, safe workspace during planting. Make sure to keep walking paths clear of tools and materials. Stack and dispose of trash, such as nursery pots and plant tags. Clean your tools, such as your hand pruners, between each plant alteration to avoid potential cross-contamination of disease. Each of these steps ensures safe planting for both the plants and our employees, and maintains a neat and organized worksite. The fourth phase is the planting. First, you are to dig and prepare the planting hole. Typically, it should be 1.5 times wider than the plant's root ball, and only as deep as the height. The top of the root ball should always be sitting an inch or two above grade. The grade is the level of the soil before you dug the hole. The bottom of the hole should be hard. If it is too soft and loose, the plant will settle to below grade and cause rotting at the top of the crown. When you're removing the soil from the hole, place it on a tarp nearby, so it doesn't get into the lawn, and it's easy to add fertilizer if needed. Next, when positioning the plant, first find the face of the plant. The face is the most attractive or suitable side to view from. Point the face towards where people will view it most often. You don't want it to be facing a fence. You want it to face towards a patio or a walkway, where the clients will be looking at it from. Once the face is found and positioned, view the plant from 2 different angles to make sure it's straight before you plant it. Third, if fertilization is needed, communicate with your crew leader or manager about the correct fertilizer needed. Make sure to read the directions on the product or look it up on your phone. Use a measuring cup to ensure you're not using too much, which could have negative effects on the plants. Mix the measured fertilizer granules with the backfill to ensure even distribution. Backfill the soil around the root ball while tamping in place to ensure there are not air pockets. Tamp lightly on top of the soil around the base and water thoroughly. And if it's possible, gently water while backfilling. Finally, if there is mulch present or needed, apply about 2 inches of mulch around the plants. However, make sure the mulch isn't completely covering or suffocating the crown or base of the root ball. Make sure the stem is always visible and is receiving adequate airflow.
This is a short video on how to plant flowers. Like any plant, one of the key things you want to remember is not to plant it too deeply. Many people make that mistake and end up making a little bathtub in which water collects and the roots eventually rot because they're too wet. So if you've got a nice specimen here like this Rudbeckia triloba, you just want to give it a little wrap on the bottom and remove the root ball from the container. Now what you're going to see here with this one is like a lot of plants that come in containers, it's a little bit root bound here on the bottom and on the sides, meaning the roots have grown out, they've hit the edge of the pot, and they've started to sort of collect there. And this is a bad thing because what we want the roots to do once we plant it is we want the roots to go out into the native soil. We don't want them to stay in this little root ball here. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to rough this up a little bit here. And again, don't be too gentle with it. You can do it with your hand, or you can do it with the saw, you can do it with your pruners, whatever it takes to sort of rough that roof pattern up a little bit here. Again, it might seem like I'm being a little rough here, but the only thing you really need to be concerned about at this stage is don't let the roots dry out. If the roots dry out, they'll die. Otherwise, they'll be okay. So we've roughed that up a little bit. Now we've dug our hole, which is not too deep, and we're going to just pop this baby in there. Now I can see that the top of the root ball is even with the surrounding soil, or near enough. It's maybe a little bit high. A little bit high is not bad. It's better than low. So now we're going to backfill a little bit of the soil around there. Hal's going to put some water in the hole, and then we'll finish it off later. What we're trying to do here is make sure that the soil that's in the root ball and the soil that's in your yard are well bonded so that there's no expansion and contraction creating a schism there the roots can't go across. So we're going to make those two soils mix together a little bit, go together, and then the roots are going to be able to easily move out into the yard where they need to be to collect enough water to live long term.
Thank you for watching this planting training. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to your crew leader or manager.